Today we're talking about this summer's transfer window, free transfers, and how Newcastle could clean up if they spend their money correctly. Welcome back, I'm Adam from Two for Joy. If you're new around here, get down there, like, subscribe, hit me up in the comments. That's exactly how this video came around. But let's have a look at who's free this summer window and how Newcastle could exploit this transfer window if they act quickly. So where I want to start this video is basically in the comments from my last video. I had a comment from Chaos1991 pointing out that we should have gone for Jonathan David. And after a little bit of back and forth, he sent me this message saying, have a look at who's free this summer with the likes of Harry Wilson, Julian Brandt, Dusan Vlahovic and more. And basically what I want to do is deep dive into the signings that are available this summer after looking at who Newcastle have signed in the summer transfer window just been and how much they're costing us a week and how much they cost us per season. So starting off with Johan Wissa, costing us £55 million as a transfer fee. He's on £140,000 a week on a 5-year deal, costing us £21 million a year. And honestly, a terrible return so far. We can only hope for better next season. Anthony Elanga coming in at £55 million on £100,000 a week. £16.2 million a year, and again not the greatest return. And Nick Voltemade, the best return of them all so far, with £65 million transfer fee, £132,000 a week, and a cost to the club per year of £17.7 million. Now, when I've put at the bottom of this the cost of the club per year, that is their transfer fee amortised, split over the period of their contract to give us a rough idea of how much we're paying per season to keep these players on their wages plus their transfer fee. And then basically I've gone through and looked at players that are available this summer that would be able to bolster Newcastle's squad and where we might be able to pick up free transfers that would save us spending that big transfer fee and possibly put some players on higher wages without having to have that big outlay to start with. So players available on a free this summer. We'll start with the goalkeepers. Manuel Neuer, obviously, of Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich want to release Manuel Neuer because he won't reduce his contract cost. And while Manuel Neuer, fantastic goalkeeper, he's in his late 30s and honestly he is on a whack-a-jack wage. But Justin Bijlow would be a fantastic signing for Newcastle as a backup goalkeeper, with us being able to go out and spend on another first team keeper should we let Nick Pope and Aaron Ramsdale go. And then obviously the right back situation with Kieran Trippier set to leave, Emil Kraft set to leave, Tino Livramento's future on the rocks. There are right backs the likes of Dani Carvajal and Oscar Mingueza, who are both expiring this summer. Centre-back situation, obviously, with Fabian Schär set to, or looks like he's set to leave. Marco Senesi from Bournemouth is only on £55,000 a week. And Andreas Christensen of Barcelona, once again, Christensen is on £140,000 a week. These are wages that are attainable for Newcastle to bring in players like this. The left-back situation, which we've been struggling with for a couple of seasons now. Rafael Guerreiro is available from Bayern Munich. And otherwise, if you wanted to bring the wages down, Ryan Sessegnon or Rico Henry are both expiring this summer. The midfielders, Javier Schlager, Leon Goretzka and Frank Kessie, all available this summer. Right wing of Harry Wilson, an attacking midfielder in Julian Brandt. The left wing, I had to put him in there because I couldn't find another left winger, but Alan St Maximin is available for £30,000 a week and £1.5 million a year he would be. And I have to say, for £1.5 million a year and paying the same contract as we're currently paying Lewis Miley, I would definitely take a punt on bringing St Maximin back. He's the type of player that offers you something completely different to what we have in this squad. And then the striker situation of Dusan Vlahovic and Mauro Icardi, both available on frees this summer. Now, there is a whole host of players, I believe it to be 1,500 players who are playing at top flight clubs across the top 7 leagues in Europe that all have contracts expiring this summer. And Newcastle really need to look at taking advantage of this situation. When I was speaking in the comments previously, I was having the debate about Jonathan David, who was available on a free last summer, and we've ended up spending £21 million a year on Johan Wissa. And Jonathan David's contract is currently similar to what Johan Wissa is being paid. The only difference being he came on a free. And realistically, you probably could have got him with a bumper £5 to £10 million signing on bonus rather than a £55 million outlay like we have for Johan Wissa for his 2-goal return this season. So I'll throw this graphic up now. I've put together a starting 11 of free transfers that could come in and bolster this squad. And I don't believe every one of these to be a starter, but I do believe these players would offer us squad depth. And as you can see, their weekly wages compared to their price per year, I'll bring it back to the fact that Johan Wissa is costing us £21 million a season when you amortise his transfer value and his wages over the 5 years of the contract he's been offered. And when you break it down against these players, there's not a single player on this list that you couldn't pay their wages and they'd still come in cheaper than Johan Wissa a season. I mean, Dusan Vlahovic being on £363,000 a week, and he would still come in cheaper than what we are paying for Johan Wissa. And I'll be honest, there are players in this team where I think key areas where I think Newcastle should 100% take advantage. And a few of these obviously would want more money than they're currently on. But players like Julian Brandt, Leon Goretzka, Mingueza at right back, Harry Wilson at right wing, even Bijlow in goal. I don't understand why Newcastle wouldn't take advantage of this. And realistically, I've seen Fulham have already got a striker lined up to come through the door. They've agreed personal terms. It's all set to be sealed as the window opens. And what I want to see from Newcastle is better structure, clearer outline, and deals done a lot quicker in this window. If we get halfway into this summer window and we haven't struck deals early on, I think we will suffer. I think we will repeat this 2-year cycle of getting back into Champions League and then struggling once we're in there. And we really need to bolster squad depth now. We really need to outline a clear vision going forward of bringing in some players in their prime against bringing in some young prospects who offer something going forward. And what I would say is, if you take Johan Wissa out of the equation, Jacob Ramsey is brought in for development, Nick Voltmarder is brought in for development, Anthony Elanga is brought in for development, Malik Chow was brought in for development. These players in 2 or 3 years' time could be the staples like your Bruno, your Sandro. They have the potential if they get the time on the training ground. And this season we will have that. But we need to bolster this squad with depth. We need to get rid of some of the deadwood. We need to clear out players who are reaching past their prime and really look at key signings to come in this summer window. Now, I don't believe every signing should be a free transfer, but I do think Newcastle should take advantage of players that are available, that we don't have to outlay big money on bringing players in. And I would also like to see Newcastle use the loan market and realistically bring some players in, like we did with Lewis Hall, like we have done with Aaron Ramsdale. And if it doesn't work, there's no big outlay. We've just paid a marginal cost to have them for a season to see whether they're the right fit for the club. But like I say, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Hype the video, like the video, get involved, subscribe. We're so close to getting to the road to 1,000. Every comment, every like, every sub means the world to this channel. So please continue, and hopefully guys, I will see you in the next one.